All right. People have spent almost 20 years, yes, 20 years trying to figure out or explain Cristiano Ronaldo. It's either he's arrogant, he's selfish, he's obsessed with himself, his ego is too big, and maybe they're right. But I don't think they're asking the right question, because the real question isn't, does Ronaldo have an ego? Of course he does. The real question is, what did he do with his ego that got him to where he's at now? And because after reading The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, I started looking at people differently, especially myself. And I realized something that made me feel uncomfortable. And that is that I have a shadow. I'm not talking about your physical shadow that you get from sunlight. It's the shadow where it's not the version of myself that I show everyone. Not the disciplined version, not the confident version, but the hidden version. The one that wants to be admired, the one that wants to be exceptional, the one that hates being overlooked. And for years, I thought becoming a better person meant getting rid of that side of myself. But now I'm starting to think that the goal was never to kill that side, but rather try to understand it. And here's the book, by the way, of The Laws of Human Nature. It's a more concise version, so I get straight to the point. I found this on TikTok Shop. I'll leave the link down below for anyone who wants to buy it. It comes with a set with a bunch of other books like 48 Laws of Power, Laws of Seduction, along with what other books? The Art of War, a bunch of other stuff, but you can get this with the link below. Not sponsored, I'm just trying to put y'all on. So yeah, what is the shadow? Robert Greene talks about something called the shadow, okay? It's every part of yourself that you've basically learned or trained yourself to hide. Your jealousy, your anger, your need for validation, your desire for power, your ego, your selfishness, the part society tells society tells you that is ugly. So what do? We try to bury them, or we try to pretend that it doesn't exist. But burying things doesn't mean that it's disappeared. If you bury something that's fully active and alive, they grow. And eventually, they start making decisions for you without you even thinking or realizing it. And that's where I found myself basically this year. And I'm going to be honest, okay? There are moments where my ego takes over, like fully. Sometimes I walk into the bar and I'll approach a woman without even thinking twice. Not because I'm fearless, but because part of me enjoys proving to myself that I can do that without any hesitation. Especially knowing that people my age, people older than me, people who are way more successful than I am, are afraid to do so. And at first, I thought that made me confident, but then I had to ask myself the hard questions. Would I still enjoy it if nobody knew that I had this ability? And then I realized sometimes it wasn't connection that I was chasing. It wasn't connection. It was a validation that came from doing what I did. And it's an uncomfortable truth to admit, but at the end of the day, it's true. And then there's soccer. God, that sport. There have been moments where I knew exactly what the right play was. The easy pass, the smart pass, the pass that probably wins the game. And instead, I shoot the ball. I shoot because part of me wants the goal. Part of me wants to be the hero. Not because I'm a bad teammate. At least I hope I'm not. But my ego whispers to myself, imagine how good you'll look if this goes in. Imagine how good you'll look if you bang that into the bottom corner or top corner, upper 90s. Imagine the cheers and applause that you'll get afterwards. And when I do, sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't work. But either way, that voice still exists. And ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. But understanding it gives me the chance to choose differently. And criticism, oh boy, criticism. This one was the hardest. I've had teachers, mentors, coaches, people I've dated give me criticism. And before they even finished talking, I had already decided that they weren't even worth listening to. I don't know why I do that. It's a reflex. But it's not because they're wrong. Not at all. Like, when I replay the instances in my head, it's really not because they're wrong, but because my ego couldn't stand the idea that they might be right. And that's not confidence. That's not confidence. That's my own insecurity wearing confidence as a disguise. Plain and simple. And that realization changed me. So then I started looking at Ronaldo, and that's when everything clicked. People think Ronaldo's greatest strength is confidence. I personally don't. I don't think it's confidence at all. I think his greatest strength is that he found something big enough to aim his ego towards. You get me? He found something that he can aim his ego towards. I mean, like, just look at the way he trains. You know, look how consistent he is. He's always the first one to show up and last one to leave. Look how he reacts after missing a chance. Look at the way he celebrates. He celebrates every goal as if it's his first goal, as if that goal is going to save his family from poverty every single time. And people laugh at it. All the rival fans that don't like him laugh at him. People call him obsessed, but the obsession isn't automatically a bad thing, in my opinion. Because without obsession, there's probably no Ronaldo. Without obsession, there's no Ballon d'Ors, there's no Champions Leagues, there's no records, there's no 6 World Cup appearances. The same fire people criticize is the same fire that built his career. And now, I'm not saying every reaction Ronaldo has is perfect. None of us are. None of us have a good reaction towards stuff in those regards. But what I'm saying is that every extraordinary person has something inside them that refuses to settle for less. Some call it ego, some call it obsession, some call it ambition. But whatever you call it, it has to be disciplined. Because if it isn't, that same thing can become destructive. And so what I've learned is that there is a difference between greatness and ego. The goal isn't to destroy your shadow. Not at all. The goal is to give your shadow a purpose. Give your shadow a reason to exist. Your ego wants recognition. That's fine. That's fine. Build something worth recognizing. Your pride wants respect. Fine. Become respectable. Your competitiveness wants to win. Fine. Master your craft, whether it's in art, sports, or anything school related, anything. Master that craft, because the problem isn't having those desires. It's not. The problem is when those desires become bigger than your character. The problem is when the desires become bigger than your character. Because then you stop listening. You stop learning. You stop growing. You think you're better than everything and everyone, and you stop listening. And that's where I've caught myself. That's where I've caught myself. That's where I've had to check myself. I had other people actually check me recently. Not by pretending my ego doesn't exist, but by asking, who's really in control right now? Is it me? Or is it my shadow? So among the many things of why I admire Ronaldo, the reason Ronaldo inspires me isn't because he's perfect. It's because he still acts like there's still more left to do. Like, he has the money, he has the trophies, he has the trophy wife, he has the fame, the records, a nice family. Most people would stop. Like, truthfully, most people would stop and be like, you know what? I've lived a good career, or I've lived a good life, I've had a good career. Let me just stop. I've done enough. But he doesn't. He just keeps going. And whether that's because of how he grew up, because of how he's wired, or because of the identity he's built, I don't know. And I don't pretend to know what's going on in his mind. But I do know this. That relentless drive inspires me. It does. Because I feel it too. And with whatever I want to get accomplished in my own life. I don't want more because I hate what I have currently, but I want more because I believe that I'm capable of becoming more. And I think that's why a lot of people around this earth are Ronaldo fans. They believe that they have more. They are capable of doing more and of achieving more. And they use Ronaldo as a symbol for that, because he is the symbol for believing that they are capable of achieving and attaining and becoming more. There's a difference. One comes from emptiness and the other comes from possibility. So the lesson today is that your shadow really isn't your enemy. That ego, that pride, that arrogance, that's not your enemy. It's rather, I want you to take it and consider it to be energy that you can use. The question is, what are you going to use that for? Or you can use your ego to chase attention, or mastery. You can use your competitive to put people down, or use it to raise your own standards. You can spend your whole life pretending you're above your darker instincts, or you could admit that they exist and decide where they belong. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to be more aware, because awareness gives you a choice. It gives you a choice. And so to end this off, people always say, leave your ego at the door. And I don't really think that's possible. I don't really think that's possible at all. Your ego is going to walk through that door whether you invite it or not. It's always going to pull up to the function. So don't try to spend your entire life pretending that it isn't there. Give it a job. Give it a purpose. Give it a reason for existing. Because at the end of the day, it's never going to leave you. It's always going to be a part of you. You know, if your goal is to become the best footballer that you can become, use your ego to help you gain. Building businesses that matter if you're into business. You know, creating videos that challenge people to think. You know, leaving this world better than how you entered or how you found it. That's what I want to do with my ego. Because the shadow won't disappear. It won't. But you have to let it stop being your master and control it. Let it be your fuel. And maybe that's why Cristiano Ronaldo is still chasing greatness after all of these years. Not because he doesn't have a shadow, but because he's found something bigger than himself to point it towards. And the question isn't whether you have a shadow or not, because every human does. The question is it controlling you, or are you finally learning how to control it? But if you like what you heard, please make sure to like and subscribe and share to someone who needs to hear this. Other than that, develop a prodigy mindset and tackle your problems with everything you got. I believe in you. Take care. Peace.